Peace and great morning, kings and queens. It's another motivation, money-making Monday. Peace, this is another motivation, money-making Monday. But this is way beyond a motivation Monday. This is about discipline. This is about commitment. This is about inspiration. This is about a drive to overcome the impossible, or what seemed to be impossible, but yet was surmountable. This king to the right of me right here, y'all might not know him right now, but y'all gonna get real familiar with him. This is Mr. Percy West, a.k.a. Freedom is a Must, a.k.a. Love is Contraband in Hell, a.k.a. Never Give Up, a.k.a. Gave back 100. Let me say that again.
Wee.
He gave back 100 years to the state.
Yes, sir.
After 32.5 years, he came home and he received his freedom. He was sentenced to 132.5 years to life. Let that sink in your head right now, yo. 132.5 years to life. And this man is sitting right here with us right now. Received his freedom, fought for his freedom. Let me not say received. He earned his freedom. And now we here, know what I mean? This king and I met while we was in Southport Correctional Facility, know what I'm saying? In the 23-1, man. And just the vibe and the brotherhood that we established over that time period solidified our bond. And 27 years later, we here. You know what I'm saying? Both of us free, both of us in the world, both of us building. And without further ado, man, I want you to hear from the man himself so he could speak on his journey and just how you doing, man? How you doing today, King?
I'm doing good, man. I'm here with you.
Yes.
It's great. Just thinking back to where we began at, right? To be here.
Yeah.
It was like you was short to touch. I was super long at the time.
Yes.
The bond just came together. My man came on the set. If they was like, yo, Frank Mab, he was like, yo, who this? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And then we just bonded, bro. Continuous building.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Building and destroying. You tell me your past. You tell me your history. I was telling you mine. And we just connected on, you know what I'm saying? Not just Brooklyn, but the energy, the vibe, the aura, the where we was at in our lives. And you went home, you ain't forget. I remember you left with the bag of books.
Yes.
You ain't leave with nothing else that was immaterial and was insignificant. You left with the bag of books.
Yes.
And we just stayed building. And you went home and went to college and did, I remember everything, bro. You was building, you was sending me books, and we stayed bonded. And our bond is a true bond, bro, because you was there when I went to the feds. We went to when I was in the state. You was there, like physically, not just you sending bread, not just there for me whenever I called on you. You was there for me when I didn't call on you.
Right.
What you need, like showing that it's real. You know what I mean? You know I was never a burden, bro. And you was like, what you need? What's going on? I'm pulling up, coming over here. Where you at? Coming to MDC Brooklyn, pulling the feds. You was there, bro, and like at the same time doing your thing.
Yes.
So you don't realize that you kept me strong, bro.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's very few. That's what we counted among. You never be counted among the broken so-called men.
Yes.
I mean, we stand out from that.
Absolutely.
And here we are today, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
man.
saying? You was there my day one when I came home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You was a little late, but you was there. You pulled up. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't
I
too
beat
late.
you there.
You beat who there?
To the restaurant.
You beat me to the restaurant. You ain't beat me to the come home spot.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
You was there though. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
so
sir.
You was there where it mattered. You know what I'm saying? You pulled
Yeah.
up. We was there. We had the whole mob. We was mobbed out. And all the people that was there that would support me.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That was really there, not just talking but walking it.
Yeah.
Those are the people who was at that breakfast, at that brunch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I appreciate all of y'all, bro. Like for real. Is I can't even explain what y'all support did during those times, because I was in the belly of the beast.
Yeah.
You know, and like you said, 23-1, bro. Remember, we did our verbal fast every day, listening to people around us, so we won't become a product of our environment.
Absolutely.
So we sit back and we want to respond to certain things, but we really couldn't because we listening,
right?
And we take it in and we reading and going through what we going through. When that CO remember you know her, and the CO Turner when she came through, she tried to play us.
Yeah.
She came with the commissary sheet.
Yeah.
She just wanted us to
break
speak.
us.
She wanted to break us. Now we in the box. Only thing we do is this is all the grub we get.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And if we didn't say our name, we not gonna get this commissary sheet. We ain't gonna get our items.
Right.
And none of us broke.
Yeah.
We trying to show her, yo, listen. She's like, yo, nah, what's your name? We showing her all kind of things with our names on it.
Yeah.
She's like, nah, you gotta say your name.
Right.
But say yourself up out of here. Keep it pushing.
Absolutely.
And we didn't get our commissary. That's when we had the candy bars.
Right.
We could buy the candy bars up there.
And she passed us up on our mail and everything.
On mail and everything.
Yeah. For those that don't know what I'm saying, where he just explaining like, yo, this God right here, this king right here used to have us on verbal fast. He really broke down the essence and the power of what a verbal fast is. And, you know, we started out with just days where we just absolutely wouldn't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? We will fast from speaking. And when you fast from speaking, you have the mentality of, or you enhance your other senses. So that enabled us to write more. We got more in depth with ourselves in the sense of reading and concentrating on the other things that was going on in our world and building on our visions, you know what I'm saying, in our minds, you know what I'm saying, so that we can, you know, open them up and have a sense of freedom while we was confined behind those walls, you know what I'm saying? And that time period was so powerful for me to be going through those verbal fasts, you know what I'm saying? And him and I used to just extend them like, yo, we ain't breaking. We going for the whole week. We'll do the whole week, verbal fast, not talking. And we the incident that he was just talking about happened more than one time, but CEO was coming by and saying like, yo, you need to say your name and numbers if you want your mail or your commissary. And we refused to do so. We stood tall on the commitment that we made to not speak. You know what I'm saying? And in doing so, we missed out on our commissary and our mail on those several times that we did not, or we made sure that we stood tall and 10 toes down on not speaking, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the commitment that we made to one another and more importantly to ourselves. And, you know, that just made us stronger, you know, all that time. That time period made me into the man that I am today, you know what I mean? And I can't thank this king enough for, you know, just the bond that was just established at that time, man. Like, yo, you know, you never know who you gonna meet and how y'all gonna connect. But, you know, that time period just giving me the books and having me super on my militancy, you know what I'm saying? Going from Soul That Brother to George Jackson, Blood in My Eyes, you know what I mean? Going from the Destruction of Black Civilization by Chancellor Williams, Ashada Shakur, you know what I'm saying? That's where we get that term from, you know? Love is contraband in hell, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that's one of the things that him and I always shared every time that we would speak. We would just let that be known, that love is contraband. When you in the belly of the beast, that's hell, you know what I'm saying? But that love can override whatever hell that you're going through and bring you out and give you strength. In those times, even when you're feeling weak, it'll give you the power and the strength to overcome. You know what I mean? So, yo, man, what kept you motivated? What kept you inspired during those times? You know what I'm saying? To really push forward, to know that, you know what I mean, one day you was gonna receive your freedom.
I mean, let me just add on to what you said and it's answering your question as well. But love is contraband in hell.
Yes.
I mean, we close all our communications off with that, me and you. That's the last things we say.
Yes.
Because you let it be known that I'm in here in the belly of the beast and we know what love does. This is what Asada meant. We know what love does. And love can keep you up and strong and then have the oppressors upset because we're receiving that love. You know, this is why when things happen to people in prison, when you don't have no family, they do whatever they want to do with you. They throw you in the atmosphere. They throw you somewhere where your family ain't gonna know where you at because you don't have no family that's gonna be there for you.
Right.
And they know who they dealing with, so they be like, we could deal with them any kind of way.
Right.
When you got that love, they don't want you to have it, so therefore it's contraband. They don't want you to have the packages.
Right.
They don't want you to have the visits. That's why when you have the visits, what they do is they make it so difficult for your people to come in. Discouraging tactics. All this is the things that we have to deal with, and we got to be strong because they trying to break you in those ways.
Right.
So it's like continuously battling against what they're trying to do and what you're trying to not allow them to not do.
Right.
But bro, like is a thing as far as like just continuously staying strong. I knew I had to stay strong because again, I don't want to be counted among the broken so-called men, and I know once I break. I might not come back from it. We see people taking medication continuously. We did our box time strong. We had people going to mental health and continuously trying to get away from the box time.
Right.
We going outside jogging in the cages, like a gerbil in the little spaces, getting our exercise and getting our air and coming back in, working out, staying focused, doing what we doing.
Right.
Family, you know what I'm saying? Genuine comrades. I mean, just keeping me up and keeping me strong.
Yeah.
Because it was hope. I always kept hope alive, and that's strong. That's serious.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't keep hope alive and I believe that it can get done, then what else do I have in that situation?
Right.
Because as you said, I had 132.5 years to life. No light at the end of the tunnel.
Right.
So under those circumstances, what do? I have to chip away like Shawshank. I got to chip away slowly but surely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That like they were chipping. Now we're on about like next week, the one after that. When it gets done, it gets done.
Right.
You want it to happen earlier, but at the same time, you just keep chipping and hoping that it happens in a reasonable amount of time.
Right.
And reasonable to say it's relative, but reasonable for me was I don't want my mother to pass away while I'm in prison, bro. That was significant. So I didn't want to die in prison,
Right.
but I don't want my mother to die while I'm here.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And she just holding on. She like I said, want me home, and my mother's there continuously. That's my heart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So she's always there, bro.
Yeah.
That's why I always have her. Wherever I'm at, let's go.
Yes.
If she ain't with me because she ain't want to come.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let's go. You want to go here? You want to go there? She a little older. She getting tired.
Yes.
But let's go. Wherever you want, I'm letting you know. I'm not coming home changing. I'm not getting different.
Yeah.
Keep it sandbox, foundation. And these are the people that's in my life that kept me strong. Yeah. And it was the hope, bro. That I mean, I'm a monster with the law, bro. I get to do home quick.
Yeah.
I just couldn't get me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Get myself home.
Sooner,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I get myself down. I went down a few times, but I know they was like, but you sharp with the law. All right, cool. You ain't go to school with us though. I'm saying we ain't see you in nowhere. Like
but you ain't need to.
You know what I'm saying?
You learn from the,
Precisely. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Learn from this from the belly.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like the rose that grew from
Lord
concrete.
Library, reading through those books. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I had everybody on it. Yo, what's up? You in the box for what? Yo, learn about this. Yo, what's up with your case? Tell me about this. Yo, go check that.
Yeah.
Don't tell me about your problems if you ain't trying to present solutions.
Absolutely.
So listen, this is what you doing. What's going on? You continuously hollering at me. You can holler at me with questions all day.
Right.
But do it as a result of your research and something that you don't understand.
Right.
Not that you're trying to stand on what I'm doing and you're not doing anything.
Absolutely.
That's not happening. Let me know when you dig up in that. Here go the books. Yo, go send that. Check. This is the site for this. Go when I see you doing something.
Right.
Now you got my time because the time is valuable because I got things to do. Even though I'm in the box, 23-1, time's still valuable. Time still precious. Right. We could be building. We could be destroying. We could be doing what we doing. You know what I'm saying? And going and digging in them books to get out. What you put in is what you get out.
Absolutely.
And dudes think that this happened overnight. You know what ain't happened overnight.
Right. It takes time.
It takes time.
Yeah.
I've been in the law library digging, researching. It's trial and error. I went down, lost, came back. You know what I mean, went back down again, coming back, and then I had to get the legal team. And but at the same time, bro, it was rough.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was rough.
It was definitely a hard fought battle. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And all of those different times where you came down and you went back. It's important. Cite the case law that actually got your sentence overturned.
See, it's not the case law. I'm gonna tell you about the case law.
Break it down.
I'm gonna tell you about the case law. The case law basically is Strickland versus Washington and People versus Baldy in the New York State because that's kind of the foundation. Because the lawyers have an ethical obligation to present mitigating factors to the sentencing judge.
Yes.
When in order to, so you can receive a reasonable sentence, like under the circumstances, like you didn't present my age. I was a teenager.
Yeah.
The age, like Lawrence Steinberg has a study on, it's called neuroplasticity, which your brain do not fully develop until you're 24, 25 years old.
Right.
The prefrontal cortex, this is responsible for decision making.
Right.
What kind of decision making you gonna make at 19 years old? You're still a child, realistically. He's supposed to bring this to the judge's attention. I was like abused. I'm saying, pops beat up the whole family continuously. You didn't. He's supposed to bring these things up. Things that, you know,
trauma points.
The trauma points, exactly. We come from what's considered a deviant subculture, being in the hood, right? So bring certain things up that we witness murders, we witness stabbings and robbings. These are things that these things are our natural habitat.
Yeah,
we have to habitat. We have to live through these things, right? So bring these things up.
Yeah.
And they really, he didn't bring these things up.
He didn't present those things in the original trial.
To the original trial judge, right? So this is really what pushed the ball forward.
Yeah.
In addition to me doing what I was doing in the penitentiary, because when I had a rough start.
Yes.
You know what we were speaking about 23-1. That was the story of my life.
Right.
When dudes was coming in and out the box, I did 6 years straight in that situation under those circumstances, right? Going down level 1, coming back, chains on the ankles, you know what I'm saying? Chains on around the waist, going back upstairs, getting at it with the COs, going back down.
Right.
So it was a mind state. It's like I ain't had no light at the end of the tunnel.
Right.
What am I chilling for?
Right.
Even though I'm working on getting out, but still in the process, it is what it is.
Right. You on go time?
I'm on go time all the time. Exactly. So I really had to alter that mind state as time went on. I'm like, listen, it's not gonna happen. They on paper, I'm one person. They see me on paper as this person. So they don't know who I am.
Right.
So what I really got to do is I have to change my life really and truly, and change my thinking
from the inside
from
out.
The inside out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I can really see things clearly, not for what they appear to be. And I just had to start seeing things for what they were.
Right.
And I'm like, you know what, man? I'm taking. I used to go like, I don't care where you send me. Send me to Wendy, the Clinton, the furthest prisons. It don't even matter because my family, my people's gonna be there.
Right.
That's a selfish way to think. Because it was true though.
Right.
But it was selfish because they got to go through all this different stuff that we don't really realize what they're going through
and
to get there.
They always try to make it so tremendously
like
difficult
yes.
And try to discourage our people from coming to see us. And that's something that I didn't even realize until I was on the other side of the fence and I was coming to visit you, right? And coming to see other comrades. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, yo, they put my mother through all of this.
Yeah.
Like, and you start to realize, like, yo, know what I mean? You have to be a trooper to go through all of it. And it's traumatic experience for our peoples to have to go through this. Something that they ultimately don't have to or shouldn't have to, but they doing it because of the love that they have for us.
Exactly.
Know what I mean? So for us to be put in those situations or to be putting them in those situations should alter our way of thinking and being like, yo, we got to do what we got to do to get out of here.
And that's what, and that was a big part of it, bro.
Yeah.
So I started realizing, I'm like, damn, they really go through this. They come to see you, those things, right? They put one face in. You got to go to a hospitality, get fixed up right before you come in, like you came in like this. You know what I'm saying? And to get together, then you got to go through all kind of search procedures.
Right.
You ring in, they will, can we strip frisk you over here?
It's degrading.
It's degrading. And they do that intentionally to discourage.
Right.
So I understand. I put myself in this circumstance, but I didn't. They not in prison with me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So certain things I can deal with and accept and tolerate, not accept, but tolerate and deal with because of my strength and fortitude. But I don't want them to go through that.
Absolutely.
And I had to realize, I'm like, listen, this is getting crazy. Right. You're getting older. My mom's getting older. I told you I don't want to pass away while I'm in here. And I'm seeing things different. I'm seeing life differently.
Right.
I mean, so I'm like, yo, I get up in college. I mean, start my own, start certain programs of my own. Start getting all the programs that I need. That's mandatory. Most importantly, get the programs that's discretionary and not mandated. Right. Volunteer programming. That's more important than mandatory programming.
Right. Because
it shows that you're really trying to change yourself.
Yes.
And that's what I was digging. Every volunteer program I can get into, I'm jumping in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm jumping in. And like Peter Stern, the CFO, that's how me and Peter Stern is good money. I got him on the phone. I could call him any given time.
Right.
Because he came up in there and did a class on literacy. And I was just looking when we was out there just now.
Yes.
They have the class on Financial literacy, exactly, and it brought me right that. I like
Yes.
that. I like to see that.
Yeah.
Because he came in here, and he told us, and he did that.
Yeah.
He didn't have to do that.
Right.
He come in up in there, you know what I'm saying? Boom, yo, listen, this is what's going on here, teaching us the way
Right.
financially.
Right.
He's managing he's paying all of that, all their salaries.
Right.
He know how this go.
Absolutely.
I'm paying attention.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
He teaching you how to think free before you receive your physical freedom. So now you got mental freedom already. So it's just a matter of time. You know what I'm saying? Before those doors start open, those cell cages open.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. He opened in different areas of the mind and the brain.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like, damn, boy, this is how, if I do this and I start digging more on my own and start going into different things and establishing, show me the importance of financial literacy, the importance of relationships, the importance of volunteering to do things that you don't have to do because he didn't have to show up.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, just like the professors that come into Sing Sing or the Hudson Link. You know what I'm saying? Mercer University through Hudson Link.
Yeah.
I'm saying without Hudson Link, it won't be no college in there. So Mercer University comes in there. Columbia University came in there as well. Geraldine Downey, happy birthday! Her birthday tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So she came up in there. Everyone knows Geraldine Downey. She's a professor. She's of psychology. She came in there and taught a course on children at risk.
Yeah.
Then you go on. It just goes so.
What
deep.
is the importance of those professors and different institutions that come into the facilities to teach whether it's financial literacy, whether it's about child behavior, all of these different topics and curriculums that the professors teach. How important is it to those that's incarcerated at those times to have those educational opportunities?
Oh man, it's significant. You can you could find it. You can't even really. You could use words, but you'll never be able to find an actual word to define the significance of having them people come in when they don't have to come in and teach these courses.
Yes.
And teach us financial literacy and psychology and the root of why things happen to us in our lives.
Right.
This is where they started changing my thinking.
Right.
'Cause now I'm understanding more psychology and sociology. I mean, like subcultures and how they consider it deviant subcultures and different, you know what I'm saying, layers of
How
they
all
breaking
of
it
those
down.
things impacted you.
Impacted me, exactly, and that's what altered me. You know what I'm saying, and for the better. And this is how I know it works, because I know people that it worked on me. It worked on anybody.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying, bro? Because I was a problem.
Yeah.
So you have people in there that I've seen as well. I'm like, damn, he's in college, and I start building with him, and his whole thinking is differently because I know him from the past.
Right.
So I see how his thinking is differently, and we start building about education, not who was in the yard, who got stabbed and cut in Clinton.
Right.
I'm saying who's running with who, what's going on over there. We having constructive, meaningful dialogue about life, about what happened to us as a child, how it affect us. You know what I'm saying? Like dealing with Geraldine Downey, going into epigenetics and different things that's explaining what happened in the household and how the abuse, you know what I'm saying, can play an indirect impact, whether it's not directly, and the outside environment and the home environment. It answers questions for me.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, damn, what really occurred? Let me tell you something, bro. Like, we went to when I came home, cause I ain't been stopped yet. I ain't stopped yet. And we went to Brooklyn Law School.
Yeah.
And I was speaking to the future prosecutors, and I was telling them, because these are the prosecutors who they're gonna end up prosecuting people.
Right.
But I had to look at them differently.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You have a job to do, right? And I respect everybody doing their job now. Right? This is your job. But I respect more how you do it. And this is why I explained to them. I said, like, I went into like Batson versus Kentucky, right? But 476 U.S. 79 1986. I remember the case site because which is a number of them I do. But it's a case dealing with discrimination during the jury selection process.
Right.
And I was telling them, I was like, as a prosecutor, your job is not to just get a conviction, but to see that justice is done.
Right.
And during jury selection is an important part to secure people from the cross section of the community, people of our peers. That's what's needed.
Right.
And when you really do that and not discriminate and not use a pretext to get an all-white jury because you feel that this juror here is going to convict a
Side
black
with you,
person
right.
and just side with you exactly and try to convict the person as opposed to really getting to the bottom of it because a lot of prosecutors they just want to elevate and they get a conviction.
Right.
You don't want to be a part of that group.
Right.
So this is not what you're really going to school for. Right? That's not what the ethics is about.
Right.
So I'm telling them as well, when you don't have to. This is not your job. This is the job of the lawyer. But at the same time, if you're serious about your job and you really mean, you know, what I'm saying, you know, you want to prosecute, but you want to prosecute people who really like to the degree, like in a balanced way, right? So you would apply something called therapeutic jurisprudence, which is if this person got caught with drugs, do your part to try to get him into a drug court,
Right.
or a drug sentence, get him a program, right? That's therapy.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Let the crime fit the punishment.
Right.
See what mine was.
So you can have true correction
You can have-
taking place, rehabilitation taking place instead
That's
of
what it is, rehabilitation.
punishment, right.
Precisely. So you're going to know the difference between who deserves what.
Right.
And you give them what they deserve if it's deserving.
Absolutely.
And give them the time to sort through it and get themselves together in order and to return as a different person to show that you are deserving of a sentence like that down the line. Right? Because that's what happened with me.
Right.
I had to sort through things, and even though my sentence was excessive to begin with, it was ridiculous.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no murders. I ain't got no the sentence.
Right.
The audience don't know.
Right. You would have thought that you killed 10 people. You know
I ain't
what I'm saying?
killed one.
Yeah.
You would have thought it though.
Right.
I don't have no weird sex crimes or nothing.
Right.
How do I get 132 and a half years to life?
Yeah.
And I'm fighting for my life in there. That makes no sense. You know what they offered me? 6 to 12
Right.
years. The disparity between this offer.
And that's what was the thing that really got the sentence overturned at the end of the day was the offer versus the outcome of what they gave you at the end of trial.
Precisely. That disparity is injustice in and of itself.
Yeah.
You don't even have to go into nothing else. If you look at the offer and you look at now, when you go to trial, you have a reasonable expectation to receive more time than you are offered.
Right.
However, the disparity alone
Right.
is like
It's almost like 20 times the amount of what they offered you in the beginning, and that's preposterous.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
to say the least.
Exactly. So like you have just like ineffective assistance of counsel. You have to establish cause and prejudice, and you know, how was you prejudiced by the act of the lawyer or lack thereof? You know, and then you have some that you have standing alone, and this is a standing alone situation of the disparity.
Right.
Like, listen, how did you allow this to happen? And it's like Boria versus King, U.S. versus Gordon. It tells you ineffective assistance of counsel when they supposed to tell you that what you're facing. But when you go to trial, they offer you a 6 to 12, but if you lose,
right,
you can get 20 years.
Right.
A what? I can get 20 years? Let me take that.
Right.
But he didn't do that.
Right. And listen, man, and that's important that you brought that point up because there's so many of our youth that don't understand what that process is, and their lawyers don't tell them like, yo, this is what you can end up getting.
Absolutely.
If you blow trial. And they end up blowing trial, and then they don't have the resolve or the resiliency that you yourself displayed, and they end up doing wild football numbers, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes never coming home, you know. So it's very important that our youth understand the law and understand what they doing even before getting in situations like that, like, because it ain't no game. It ain't no game at all for us to be going in the system. The object of everything is to stay free. It ain't no badge of honor to get locked up. It ain't no badge of honor to be doing no time. It's if you want to remain sucker free, stay free. You know what I'm saying? You know, because when you behind those walls, you know what I'm saying? You gotta definitely stand tall and be a man of honor. You know what I mean? But at the same time, the best thing to do is to never get behind those walls, you know what I'm saying? And never go to jail, you know, so that you can stay free and you can provide for your family and your family won't be in jeopardy of being compromised in that way where they have to go through the system. They have to be strip searched or searched in any type of way that's degrading just on the strength of coming to see you. And a lot of times us youth and even adults don't that's locked up or in the justice system don't understand the pain that our family has to endure just coming back and forth to see us. And I think that's important, very important to highlight, because when we go through things, we don't just go through them ourselves. Our families go through them as well.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that's a big driving force. That was a big driving force to make me change my mindset. And I know that was a big driving force to make you change your mindset as well and start the process to really, changing yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And ultimately changing the world.
Absolutely.
Which is like, is an ultimate segue as well, because this king right here, he wrote the forward in my book. You know what I'm saying? We was in communication. I told him that I was gonna write a book, and I was like, I need you to be in it. You know what I'm saying? And I sent him the information. I sent him the edited version of the book, and he just wrote the forward to it. You know what I mean? And I wanted to make sure that his name was in the world before he actually physically touched in the world. And one thing that I definitely have to say about the way that we used to build when we was incarcerated was that, we built for some time before you even let me know that of the time that you had on your back, right? And all that whole time, I would have never guessed that you had that amount of time to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Because in my mind, I'm like, you got 130. I would have probably went crazy, like, you know what I'm saying? But you held it down, like, you know what I mean? You was always definitely militant, but at the same time was like you always kept a cool head about you and always use your intelligence over your emotions. You was very sharp in every area of your of the way that you dealt with things, right? So when you finally born that information to me and let me know that you was dealing with 132.5 years to life, I was thrown back. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, how was you always able to keep that cool head? And at the end of the day, and I said this to you when you first came home, was that, you always knew in your heart of hearts that you was going to receive your freedom. You know what I'm saying? And it was that fighting spirit that was in you that always knew that you wasn't gonna die here. You know what I'm saying?
And that is very true, because I mean, I'm not fighting that hard if I believe that I'm not going to win, right? So I know in my heart of hearts, right, that first of all, I can visualize, like from reading, from studying, from learning, that what it takes to get out. I see other people. It happened to a lot of other people as well, right? I see what is happening when people are not doing the work, right? So I'm like, listen, I got to continuously do this work and put in. What you put in is what you get out.
Absolutely.
I just didn't know when, right? See, I always wanted to come home, because whenever you're in bondage, you want to come home, right?
Absolutely.
But I wasn't always ready to come home, right? If I would have came home before the time, I would have either got murdered or I would have been right back, right? So I wanted to come home.
That's real.
I don't believe this is I shouldn't have been able to do all of this time that I've done,
right?
But it just happened at the right time. Is right?
Yeah.
So now I'm like, I'm thinking differently.
Yeah.
Way different from how I would think if I was released before.
Right.
I would have came home and I would have they would have been like, he back at it again.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it would have been like, it's just a matter of time.
Right.
And you can't say that now because it's not going to happen.
Right.
I'm super focused.
Yes.
There's no going backwards.
Right.
And that's what I push forward with that fortitude, because I'm like, listen, I'm going to go home. I kept hope alive, and hope wasn't empty. You know, they say, you pray, but if you don't put no actions behind it, it ain't nothing going to happen, right? I knew that I am going to get out of this situation.
Right.
One way or another, I'm out of here. I'm not dying in prison.
Absolutely.
I refuse to.
Absolutely.
Right? I see people dying in prison. I see what's happening. It's not going to go down.
Right.
So I'm like, as time went on, I said, you know what? I got to get this legal team together. Right. Because I got to step outside of myself. Sometimes you deal with your case and you take it too personal, and and your writing reflects it, right? And you want to look at things objectively. And I had to get a legal team. I said, you know what? I gotta get lawyers to really, because I never trusted lawyers. You know, I'm a legal mind, but I don't trust lawyers. I became a legal mind because I don't like lawyers to the point handling my case.
Handling
I don't
your
trust
life,
you handling my
ultimately.
life. Because you
Right.
handle my case, you definitely handle my life. You don't.
Yeah.
I don't trust you if you don't reflect. You know what I'm saying, that you should be trusted or
Right.
proof that you should be trusted.
Right.
And Julia Kwan, she showed me. Me and her, you ever speak to her? It was shaky at first.
Yeah.
I don't know you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My boy, you know what I'm saying? My boy Ramsey, you know what? I know Ramsey. That's my guy. I trust him.
Right.
But at the same time, I don't.
She had to establish.
She had to establish
and build
her.
that
He's
trust.
proven she's
Yeah.
not, right?
Right.
So I'm gonna see what's going on, and that's time going on. And she always bring it to my attention. She's like, "Remember at first you ain't trust me."
Right.
You're right. Yeah,
Right.
I didn't trust
You had to earn my
You had
trust.
to earn that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's not. I don't take things on face value like that.
Especially when it's dealing with your life.
What's your life?
Yeah.
This is my life.
Right.
You want. She wanted the bag, 25, 30. She want this bag.
Right.
And you talking about trust you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust lawyers.
Right.
So let's establish, and she. That's why today she
through.
brings it up. She came
Right.
through, and she be like, "Remember that? Remember this time you."
Yeah,
exactly.
She showed and proved herself to be honorable. You know what I'm
she
saying?
showed herself to be honorable, and that's why me and her friend to this day we always tight. You know what I'm saying? Because she did the right thing. You know what I'm saying? She snatched up Rick Greenberg. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then they went to get Steve Zyman.
Yeah.
Steve Zyman, that's my guy. He's
and y'all check out all these lawyers too, man. That he naming. Know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like these are the fighters
Natalie Allen,
that's going
Audrey
into
Penn,
these courtrooms.
Yes.
That's putting up this legal work, their time, their energy, their money
Yes.
to help our young men and women, men and women that's behind those walls get their freedom if they really want it and is really seeking it, man. So definitely tap in with these lawyers. They deserve all the flowers that they deserve and that they earned. They earned that. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And you know something, I can't say that without creating a nexus to the prosecutor. Because the prosecutor prosecuted me. The prosecutor office prosecuted me and I'm the reason why they got the time, right?
Yeah.
First of all, I'm the reason why I got time.
Right.
They're the reason why I got the time that I got.
Right.
Because they recommended it to the judge.
Yeah.
Even though they didn't recommend a number, they recommended a substantial amount of time, and the judge was racist, biased, everything reflected, and he just went with it. So, you know, a lot of people wonder, like, because right now I'm a part of the advisory council to the district attorney's office right now, right? They have restorative justice over there where, you know, with Unique Starks and Matilda and them all over there. But Jill Harris, she's spearheaded, and like she's the prosecutor, ADA, who granted and was actually recommended to the prosecutor Eric Gonzalez for me to get home.
Right.
They conceded, right? They didn't have to do that, bro. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have to concede. They came into Sing Sing. I spoke to Eric Gonzalez. We had a conversation, and he's so down to earth, bro.
Right.
Like, you know how you be like, he's a prosecutor, and his brother was murdered, like my brother was murdered. We was going into that.
Yeah.
You know, his wife working in Brownsville, where I'm from, and everything.
Yeah.
It's just like
and let's not just brush over that right there, because this king right here, man, he maneuvered a way to get to the prosecutor in Brooklyn, Eric Gonzalez, know what I'm saying, and speak to him directly, not just to plead his case, but just to have that one-on-one conversation so that he could get in tune with the man that he is now, know what I'm saying? And that was a big impression for him to make, to build that rapport and that relationship so that they can ultimately look at him as the man that he has become and not the man that they saw on the paper.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Because that's all, and you see you on paper. And when we met, he said it. He said, "Well, it's nice to finally meet you. It's not just seeing a person on video and paper.
Yeah.
Because that's how they look at you sometimes. They don't know who you are.
Right.
You look who you are, who you look like on paper.
Right.
And it's crazy because when they granted this, that's why I told you I see things differently. I started seeing things differently. I'm like, damn. You know who I went to see? One of the first people I went to see when I came home?
Who that?
Eric Gonzalez and Jill Harris. Wow. The prosecutors. Because without them, I would not be home.
Yeah.
I just appreciated them seeing me for who I am today.
Yes.
And believing in me, bro. Because my record is shot.
Yes.
And they believed in who I am today, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is why I be pushing people, because they got a reentry program over there that I'm a part of.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I push people over there because I know what works. You got reentry programs that work and you got some that don't. Some people go in there, go sign out, you good. You ain't got to do nothing. They putting money up where they mouth at.
Yeah.
Like they just paid $4,000 for a KSAT program for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you needed the program, you want to get your CDL, your license, they setting you up for success. You know what I mean? They got outreach programs where, you know what I'm saying, that they working on one right now. The outreach programs, you go into the community, where you go into working on one, where you go into prisons as well.
Yeah.
And going in and direct them to where you need to go. people with families that's out here. Let's get them some books. Let's get them some their families some things for their kids. They doing the work.
Yeah, this is restorative justice in practice.
Restorative justice, exactly. Yeah. That's what it
in
is.
Action,
in
I should
action,
say.
exactly. In motion, right? And I'm a part of that. We just finished coming from Tompkins Project, speaking to the youth out there. You know what I'm saying? The young men out there. That's what I say. Unique. She out there with them. She directing that.
Yes.
I'm saying Jill Harris had a policy over there. Eric Gonzalez is pushing this. These are the things that he's pushing.
Yes.
You know, so he's striking a balance. You know what I'm saying?
And that gives our young men and women that's formerly incarcerated, and that's coming home, a true second chance at life. You know what I mean? Because like the key thing that you said that's very important, I want to just drive home as much as possible, is the fact that you had to change within first. You know what I'm saying? Before you actually receive your true freedom, because if you didn't, if you would have got home or came home earlier, you would have been dead, or you would have went right back. You know what I'm saying? So the work is a work internally that will ultimately set the pathway to you receiving your true freedom. So you actually was free before you got free.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And then once you receive your freedom, you started to piece everything together that allowed for those gates to open up, for that sentence to be returned back to, you know what I mean? Get it off your back, you know what I'm saying? So that you would come home, you know what I mean? And I think that, you know, a lot of our young kings and queens that's incarcerated, that's going through the system, they need to know that that whole process needs to take place internally, first and foremost.
Yes.
You got to change your mind. You got to change your spirit. You got to change from a survival mindset to a success mindset, so that you can start to go in that direction of actually being free. And then you'll figure out a way. Doors will start opening up so that when you do come home, you can go straight on that path to obtaining true freedom, you know what I'm saying? And then going on to a life full of success.
Bro, you couldn't say no better than that, because like you said, once you change from inside, and you walk in that path, a lot of times you're not gonna know what your path is, but you know, listen, my path is freedom, and I'm gonna win.
Yes.
And once you walk in to stay free, and you diligently pursuing winning and success in life, you're gonna find your lane.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna find it. And you said it starts from within. It does. And bro, it's so significant because, like, I'm a member of an organization called Pillars of Promise.
Yeah.
Mujahideen and Terrell and a number of these brothers are real serious about, like, criminal legal system, like, reform.
Yes.
And that's another thing that we're a part of as well. It's something that I don't want to put out there right now, but I want to. Well, it's a bill that I want to present for the men that's in prison.
Right.
And you said it yourself. You said it starts within the change. Before the change, you're free before you're actually free, right?
Absolutely.
You have a lot of men in prison who are languishing in prison.
Yes.
Who are already situated in a way where they are free. Once you are free, you no longer need to be there, bro.
Right.
Because your mind is free, your spirit is free, and you're just ready to just be released. Like, you know, you're free. So, you know, once you let a bird go fly, you're gonna fly. You're gonna
open
soar.
that cage, right?
Exactly. You're gonna soar. That's why you the phoenix, because you burn. Remember, we were saying you burn from the ashes. Remember,
and
born
rise,
as phoenix.
right.
You burn from the ashes, and then they said the mythical form. You rise from the ashes.
Right.
I mean, and you have people that's languishing in prison who was in prison from teenage years, bro.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of years, and they ready. They got college educated.
Right.
They if they're not college educated, they got programs. They showing them. They manifesting who they are.
They done
continuously. They transform that power.
Yes.
Exactly, and they need to be released. They are languishing, men and women.
Yes.
Not just men, but men and women. They're getting older there, and they letting them die in prison because they're not changing the laws, which brings me to the Second Look Act, bro. We pumping that heavy. This is what we doing, the Pillars of Promise as well.
Absolutely.
We pumping this, you know what I'm saying? We need this. Derek Hamilton, Ramsey, and all them on some, like, wrongful convictions, getting people home who's wrongfully convicted, working on people who've been languishing in prison. Like, you know what I'm saying?
All of these kings and queens that deserve a second chance.
Deserve us,
Yes.
and that's what it's about, a second chance, bro. That's what Steve Zyman is doing. He got the Second Look Project, which is why he's being recognized on May 15th for spearheading and pumping that and pushing that.
Yes.
This is why the Pillars of Promise is being recognized on May 15th as well, for pushing that, doing everything we can to get people home,
Yeah.
to get bills pushed in so they won't be languishing in prison no more. And that's why I tell people in there, the best thing you can do is change yourself. Once you change yourself, you're gonna want to go to college. You're gonna want to get the voluntary programs. You're gonna want to change yourself, read the books, reach out to people. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna want to do these things, and when you do, it's not gonna be missed on the people who matter.
Right.
Who the people who are responsible for releasing you.
Yeah.
People don't know, bro. When you're in the penitentiary, the people who has they have the power to release you. They contact the facilities.
Yeah.
Yo, what is he in there doing? Because you could say anything. It sounds good on paper. What is he? But they want to. What is he in there doing? They speak it to the officers, the superintendents, the depths. What is he in there doing?
Right.
Because y'all work around him all the time.
Right.
You have people that investigate things that's going on in the facility. Is he under investigation? Is he selling drugs on the low? What is he involved with?
Right.
And they check these things, bro.
Absolutely.
And when I got letters from like acting captains, sergeants,
Yes.
officers who work around me while I'm living, my peers,
Right.
the prisoners,
Right. That seen you
that
putting in that
seen me
positive work. Right.
precisely. This matter.
Yeah.
Like this is who he is now. This ain't so. You know what I'm saying? We can't go by who he was.
Right.
And this is another thing that this is the bill that I'm working on that I want to present, because this what I'm about to say now is you have a lot of times when things happen, like Governor Hochul, she just signed something like to release some people in prison who are nonviolent. You know how they always go to the nonviolent.
Yes.
Nonviolent. We're gonna let the nonviolent go. We're gonna let the nonviolent go. But my problem is this: because you are convicted of a violent crime, don't mean that you have to stay with that designation as a violent person.
Right.
You pause the same way you can age out of crime. You can age out of violence.
Right.
So after a certain amount of time, after a certain amount of work that you put in, changing yourself, altering your behavior for the better,
Right.
that designation, even though it's not going to go nowhere, as violent as a violent crime, it should, after 10 years or after you show progress for real that you're a different person, you should be categorized as nonviolent and allowed to benefit from certain programs that ordinarily a violent person wouldn't.
Right.
And that's what I want to change.
Right. That's powerful. Because you made mention of that before, because when you was talking about the monster, it's like a 19-year-old or young adolescent can't even make those executive decisions.
Precisely.
That executive decision making mind hasn't fully developed at those early ages of adolescent and when even into your older teens.
Yes.
I believe you said not until you're 24 does that executive decision making brain processing comes into play, where it's at its heightened level where you could just tap into it and make better decisions and make better choices about the actions that you take or don't take.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So once you get there, then that determines and should really be evaluated. Are you at the present state or the right state of interacting and making the right choices versus when you was an adolescent or older teenager? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So those things got to be taken into consideration, and we got to make sure that we giving those that started as adolescents but totally took all the steps to change their life around, whether it's through college, whether it's through vocation, whether it's just actively working on themselves to become better men and women. We got to be willing, because that's what the correction part of the correction facility supposed to be. If they made the necessary corrections, then they should be given the opportunity to have a second chance at life and not be doing life behind those walls and be productive citizens in this world.
It's true, because this is how it began. Remember Elmira? It was a reformatory to reform, right? And then it just became corrections, and you ain't really correcting anything because it's a business. So 13th Amendment is alive and well. It tells you you a slave as long as you justly convicted. But if I'm convicted, that don't mean I'm justly convicted. This is why we all fight.
Right.
But in their brain, that's why they justify the 13th Amendment and the slavery that they put us through in there.
Right.
And, by giving us pennies on a dollar.
Right.
And the most you might be able to make, I'm saying, with the exception of a few, $14.50 every 2 weeks.
Wow.
If you in the street, that's an hour.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Not even. Yeah.
Exactly. 50 cents short.
Right.
You got, you know what I'm saying?
And that's minimum wage.
That's minimum,
right.
precisely.
Yeah.
So why would they? What is their interest? They don't. It's not in their best interest to release no prisoners.
Anybody. Right. Right.
It's a multi-billion-dollar industry called
Absolutely.
you know what I'm saying, Bob Barker, all that. So it's not in their best interest to release us.
Absolutely.
So we have to know these things, and we have to really come correct,
right,
in order to get ourselves out of there, bro.
Absolutely. And then and to that point, you know what I'm saying, and jumping right back into what our adolescence and our youth, like, yo, if you go into jail and you only making $14.50 every 2 weeks, when you're in these streets, you can make a minimum of $15 an hour. You make better choices about the decisions that you make. Because, you know what I mean? If you're doing things that jeopardizing your freedom and you get locked up, you talking about, I'm out here getting the money, this, that, and the third, doing things that's going to jeopardize your freedom, and then your freedom gets taken, and then you only making $14.50 every 2 weeks, it ain't worth it. And you hurting your family, and you hurting yourself. So make better choices, man. Freedom is a must, and if you got your freedom, know that, know what I'm saying, the importance and the value that it has, because you can do anything if you got your physical freedom and you got mental and spiritual freedom to align with that. You can. There's nothing that you can't do in this world. Absolutely. Now I see like right now, since you a king that has lost his freedom and had to fight for his freedom back, what is the value of freedom to you now?
Oh man, it's a must.
Yeah.
Anything that's a must is a must have.
Yes.
So it's valuable, right? Because it's mandatory discretion.
Yes.
I don't need that, but it's a must. I need that, right? So I needed to get to it.
Yeah.
When you out here though, and you experiencing and you enjoying family, right? You traveling, because while we in prison, we read about the books. We read the books and we read about the places that we like to go to, right? We are there mentally, right? But we can't. It's not tangible,
Right.
So it's the intangible. But when you come home, you can really experience these things.
Right.
You're experiencing it with family. The air is different.
Right.
You're taking deep breaths, and now you're inhaling freedom.
Right.
It's just nothing like it.
Yeah. The best way I can, like, even just to add on to what you were just saying, like, yo, you recognize the importance of the things that's free. You know what I'm saying? Like breathing. It'll be like breathing, yes. or just hugging your moms, you know what I'm saying? Yes. Or picking up a baby, you know what I'm saying? And not having to do it through a gate, you know what I'm saying? Or do it through or just pound your fist on the glass, you know what I'm saying? Yes. So all of those things, just being able to hold your loved ones, you know what I'm saying? And eat dinner at a table with your loved ones around you.
Silverware.
Like those things is what really gives the value to life and to your freedom, yo. And you don't never want those things to be taken away from you. Know what I mean?
Exactly.
So you are on your path, and you've been home for what, almost 6 months now, right?
No,
not even.
I ain't even got 4 months in yet. Yo,
yeah.
First of all, 32 years and 10 months is what I did. Right?
Yes,
that's what I did.
Yeah,
straight.
Yeah, 32
and
years and 10 months. Let's not just brush over that.
Let that marinate. I mean?
Yeah, man. I met this king when I was 20 years old. I think I was 19 at the time. Yeah. I was 19. I came home when I was 21. So I'm 46 now. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know what I mean? I'm 46 now. So the 27 years later, you know what I mean, he finally touching that ain't no shot in the dark, you know what I'm saying? When we was talking about those 25 to life, he done did the 25 plus some, you know what I'm saying? Yes. So yo, I ain't mean to cut your wisdom, but yeah, you know what I mean?
We building.
Yeah.
There's no cutting, we building.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the last time we was saying?
32
that
years.
Me up.
32 years. 32 years and 10 months.
Yeah, bro, like, I mean, it's nothing like just experiencing freedom after that, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, like, just coming home. I saw mad cars out the windows driving by.
Yeah.
But that's why I was like, I came home. I got the non-driver's license.
Yeah.
Got the permit. Got the license. I got the car before the license.
Right.
I remember
right.
you ever calling you? I'm like, I
absolutely.
can't even drive the car. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, now I could just jump in the car and just go where I want to go. Sometimes I just jump in and go. I ain't got no destination, bro.
Yeah.
I don't GPS it. I just go.
That's freedom.
Yeah, that's freedom, bro.
Yeah.
And that's a part of answering what you were saying as well. Like, this is like experiencing life.
Yeah.
Like just walking. We went to the pier the other day, and after we came from a tie spot, you were talking about the tie spot. We have to come from a tie spot. Yeah. We went to the pier, and we just sitting out there and just looking at the water and just looking at life and the buildings and the scenery. Yeah. We went on last Sunday. We went on a boat. Me, little sister, my mom's went on the boat around not the circle line, but a little yacht thing. Yeah. Went around the circling it, and I was out there. The wind, the breeze blowing, and it's free.
The air feel different.
The air feel different. Exactly. You free, bro.
Yes.
And I'm saying, just after being captive for so long, and not just being captive, you have certain people that they start their bid and they be like, you know what, I'm gonna get it right off the rip.
Right.
You already know that wasn't my story. I'm not getting nothing right. This ain't right.
Right.
So I ain't nothing right with this. You know what I'm saying?
On a different type of time.
I was on a different time, exactly. So box continuously, getting into it with the officers, getting into it, like, and this is like, getting to the bag, doing different things. You know what I'm saying? I'm in here. Right. But I had to snap out that shit because now I'm like, hold on, you
making
become
a lifestyle.
That's what I'm about to say. You become institutionalized. Like this is my life.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, this is not it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, you get conform to what's going on over here, and you get complacent. Right. To the point where it don't matter. I ain't even got to go home because I'm good here. Right. My people's coming to see me. We going on trailers. You know what I'm saying, family, sister, them coming up on trailers and all that. You know what I'm saying? Everything. You know what I'm saying? Lady coming through, making sure I'm good. Right. Comrades, everything in my life, making sure I'm there. I got what I need. Right. Like, it ain't no rushing. Like, whatever. It can happen. Right. No. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I need to get out. This is not freedom.
Yeah, you had to change your mindset.
You had to change the mindset. Absolutely. That's why we keep going back to that. Because it's so significant, changing the mindset.
And even the people that you was around, because you were just building about the conversations that you was having, the shift in the conversations. Yes. Now we ain't worried about, who got cut or stabbed in Clinton or Attica, know what I'm saying? Yes. Who bringing the drugs in, or who got this going on, know what I'm saying? Now I'm like, let's build about this college, know what I'm saying? Exactly. What programs that you take? That program is in here now. Yes. Know what I'm saying? You could go get that degree, know what I mean? And you building about your future instead of just the right now, what you existing in.
Bro, yes. Listen, bro, I went into a puppy program, bro.
In a place with no puppies, right?
Bro, bro, they brought the puppies in. Yeah. They had a puppy program in Sing Sing. They was bringing Labrador retrievers in. Yeah. And dogs, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Who would have thought this? Yeah. This is when I changed my mindset to even want to do that. Right. Beforehand, I'm like, it's not happening. Right. Bro, I'm in there with dogs. Dogs got me soft. I'm looking forward to the dogs coming back. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. This is like life. They bringing the shift. This is the shift, exactly. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So now you start seeing things differently, and you just you want to. That's why when you ready to go. Yeah. That's why I speak about the men languishing in prison so much, because you got to pay attention to what the men are doing, how they are moving, and you gonna know is it like recidivism rate decreases so much. It's so light, like 0.1 something light when it comes down to a person's age and how long they've been in prison. Right. You gotta let these people go, bro. You gotta give people second chances, bro. This is supposed to be a society of second chances. Yeah. Not just, remember when I said about the district attorney, you gotta just seek justice and not just try to get a conviction. Yes. It's the same concept. Right. I mean, you gotta put that money to the side that you're getting for this person.
Yeah, that's equity.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Yeah. And let this man go because you'll be more valuable to people on the outside. Right. You'd be like, what about society? You pay your debt to society. I got to get to society in order to pay it. Right. This is me paying my debt to society here. Right. Now, I did this in there already, no question. I'm coming home. I'm paying it. This is how you paying it forward right now. Paying it forward, exactly. I could have came home and did anything because I'm home now. Yes. I mean, no, I'm paying it forward I'm letting them see what I'm doing. This is how I'm paying it forward.
Is that your mission now?
It's a part of the mission, absolutely. And let me tell you something. When I told you I went to speak to the prosecutors, I'm about to speak to the lawyers as well at CUNY University, but the future lawyers. But when I went out to speak to the future prosecutors, Maria Abadia, she's the chief of reentry in Brooklyn. She makes sure I'm on my JO, bro.
Yeah.
Like with different things, and she's really setting me up for success. She's like, listen, if you want to be successful, I'm gonna make sure you're good. You know what I mean? But you gotta put your best foot forward. You gotta do the work. You know what I mean? So I'm like, listen, I appreciated what they did so much, and it's like a 180 turn. The people here, you working for the district attorney, they not understanding. It ain't nothing crazy, ain't nothing foul. You stand on all 10 all day.
Right.
These are the people that, you know what I'm saying, contributed to my freedom, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They gave me a second chance, and now I'm pointing people in that direction with reentry, the programs over there, and I'm working with them.
They don't know
what
how powerful that is for you to be present in that space.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Knowing what you know,
yes,
experiencing what you have experienced.
Absolutely.
You're the best person to be in there.
Exactly.
To advocate for everybody else, and people don't understand,
they don't understand
that.
Yeah. They don't understand it until they understand. Right. Because I'm in a position. I'm a credible messenger.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So I'm in these spaces. If I say something, I mean it's meaningful because I don't just speak for the sake of talking.
Yes.
I'm saying I laugh and joke, but I don't play games.
Right.
They know this, you know what I'm saying? So we getting things done. That's what it's about, giving back to the community.
Absolutely.
Community outreach. What's happening over here when people come home, going into prisons, letting them know what's going on. People going into prisons and helping them out and letting them know what's going on with reentry.
Yes.
And letting them know when you come out here, you got certain space, you need shelter, that you need here. Your family might need certain things. We can help them with this. Providing the resources and not just talking it, but walking it. You have this is why I'm so like anchored where I'm at. You know what I'm saying over there because other places, not everybody. You got a lot of people doing what they doing.
Yes,
there's a lot of people that just talking, and that's what we're not really about talking. We about walking.
Absolutely.
And I'm also putting something together dealing with like anti-violence, bro. Violence is crazy. Right. You got people, you got Man Up, you got a number of different things out there. We go out there and we just, like I said, we was in Tompkins Project.
Inside the facilities or out in the world?
This is what. With
the anti-violence aspect.
Excuse me. Now you have the Restorative Justice. You have Unique Starks. She's responsible. She's the director of Restorative Justice in the Brooklyn District Attorney's Office. She going into the communities. I'm with her.
Yes.
I'm observing. I'm speaking. I'm giving my story. I'm doing my part.
Right.
I mean, this is their project. You know what I mean? I'm there with them to do my part.
Yes.
It's still from Brooklyn District Attorney's Office because this is part of the things that they're doing as well. You know what I mean? So going out there speaking to them. So while I'm speaking, a lot of people know who I am. So I'm credible when I'm talking. Right. I'm saying I did a lot of time. This is credible. I can tell you you want to go in there? 'Cause I can tell you what you're gonna face.
Right.
I can tell you what's happening in there.
Right.
I did 33 straight.
Right.
I can tell you what's going on with that. You want to learn about that from here, or because you don't need a bullet in your head to know that shit hurt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You might not survive it. I can put you onto it so you can avoid it.
Absolutely.
I can set you up if you really want to do certain things. I can set you up for success.
Right.
I mean, like I spoke to a person, one of the guys in we was in Tompkins Center on Friday. He pulled me to the side. He was like, "Yo, can I get your information?" I give you my information, bro. If I can help you, I can though.
Right.
I can direct you to where the help is at.
Right.
And this is what I'm
Put you
doing
in the
for
right
people.
direction to where the resources are.
Exactly.
It's up to you to do the work.
It's up to you to do the work. Exactly. And this is why that's why I accepted to be a member of Pillars of Promise. Because they're about going and putting bills forward, pushing the Second Look Act, pushing the Elders Bill, pushing for people who are in prison to get out.
Yes.
Everybody in prison don't need to be there. The population is too big. It's shrunk, but it needs to shrink a whole lot more.
Absolutely.
And the correctional officers, you know what I'm saying? I mean, y'all know y'all got a job to do and everything, but you got to do it elsewhere because the population need to shrink.
Right.
And it's in their interest to have people stay in prison because they need the job. It's a business. I understand how all this goes.
Right.
I mean, but at the same time, you
can't
can't do it at the expense of the people's, bro.
Absolutely.
That got that got to stop.
Especially for those that's ready to come back home and that corrected and rehabilitated themselves and are ready to put in the work positively and make positive impressions and impacts on our community.
Absolutely.
So what would you tell any young king or queen that's out there that is having a hard time going in the right direction, just like a point of advice or just a sign of telling your younger self and looking back on time, what would you speak to that person or speak life into that person so that they don't make the decisions that you made that ultimately got you incarcerated for 32 years and 10 months?
I mean, I would just like say seek answers to different things that you don't really have answers to. Like you know, we always got questions and we always wonder about things and like what happened, why am I like this, or why are they winning and I'm not, and you know what I'm saying. I would just ask myself these questions and find somebody who you can consider a mentor. I mean, somebody who you trust and value, and just bounce off ideas and bounce your feelings off. I mean, you don't have to have you. It's not wrong with seeking mental health is real as well. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That don't mean we crazy. It means sometimes we just need to process our thoughts
In a different way.
in a different
right.
way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to go. Let me go sit. I don't want to sit in front of a white person. You have black and Spanish people, bro, that just do the same job and
Right.
better.
Right.
You know what I mean? Speak to somebody who you need to talk to.
Right.
I mean, go find a mentor. Just like we was talking about the financial literacy.
Yes.
With Peter Stern. You can go speak to somebody who's sharp with this. You go speak to a teacher.
Yeah.
Go speak to a guidance counselor.
Right.
They will direct you to where you need to go. You know what I'm saying? Or what you need to be in, what you're trying to do with your life.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I know like Sabrina Little, she works in Brooklyn Collegiate. She has the kids and like they all come to her like for everything, and she
Yeah.
provides them answers.
Yeah.
And not just answers, she sees parts of healing. She heals. You know what I'm saying? She heals by way of her words and actions.
Yes.
She goes to the house. She speaks to the families. They come in there hostile, but when the time they finish, they in there crying and thanking her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because she know how to heal. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because sometimes we need healing, bro.
Yeah.
We wounded.
Absolutely.
We come out, you know what I'm saying, like from the hood, the ghettos,
Right.
the different areas,
Yeah,
the
man.
houses. We are in pain. We are wounded.
Right.
And we need to be healed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Our spirit, our minds, you know what I'm saying? Our soul, it needs to be healed.
Absolutely.
So and with that said, we need to seek the healing. Once we
Yes.
can seek it out and know something was wrong, once you know that you hurt, then like something, if you so much pain, damn, you got an aspirin? You got any aspirin? You're gonna be looking for aspirin after a while. That pain,
Absolutely.
you got to do the same thing, bro. I'm in pain. Then what can I do? And it takes people to recognize that as well. That's why it's good to have the good people around you. So now you be like, damn, me and you around each other. Yo, what's good? Everything good, bro? Yo, King, what's going on with you?
Yeah.
What's on your mind? Nah, just that we building.
Right.
Next you know, 2 hours is gone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And now you don't took me out of the mode
Took
that I
you-
was in before.
precisely.
You know what I'm saying? And now I'm thinking positively about things that I wasn't thinking about 5, 10, or maybe even an hour before
Yes.
that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that's why it's so important for our kings and queens that's locked up, that has changed their lives around, to have those second chances, because as credible messengers, they can speak to our youth directly, and these are people that the youth is gonna listen to because they done been through it.
Absolutely.
They got the stripes. You know what I'm saying? They done been through the war. They done been through the fire. They done had all of these things happen to them that they may have not experienced yet, or they may be going through right now. And I can speak directly to them. It's been many times where I have used your story as a cautionary story when I went and spoke to youth and really see the dumbfoundedness on their face. Like, and even if I just touch one, you know what I'm saying?
That's what
And
I
change their mentality, then I know that it was effective. You know what I'm saying? And now you don't went from a cautionary story to a real life story, and now you sitting right here next to me, man.
Ain't that something?
So yo, man, this is a full circle moment right here. You know what I'm saying? And if anybody wondered where my motivation, my inspiration, my determination comes from, you know what I'm saying? Not only does it come internally, but it also comes from those strong people that's in my circle that I have around me, like this king right here, you know what I mean, my brother, you know what I mean, that continuously inspires me and gives me strength and motivation, not just from words, you know what I'm saying, but just from his actions and his pure determination to overcome any obstacles. That's when you know it's real, when you see it in real time, in real life. You know what I mean? And this king right here is a living expression of that. You know what I'm saying? Of
Appreciate
overcoming any obstacle that has been put before him. You know what I mean?
Surmounting.
Surmounted. You know what I'm saying? Not just 12 years enslaved, but 32 years and 10 months enslaved. You know what I mean? Overcame. But I won't even say 32 and 10 months, because You escaped the slavery mentality years before you was released, but it was the process.
Yes.
Know what I'm saying? So dig into that
I
process.
was about to say that's important, the process.
Yeah, the process, man. So young men, young kings, young queens, know what I mean? If there's anything that I could say to y'all, man, it's just change your mentality, know what I'm saying? Get around those credible messengers, that have been through what you going through and that can speak to that and just open the doors to the resources that you may be seeking in different areas that you don't even know what's over here on the other side of the track. And one of the things that changed my mentality about life is just knowing that everything is connected and knowing that, the shit that I do, the things that I do affects my mother, my family, my brother, and even the person that I may be, what I'm saying, a victim of the situation that I'm engaging with is affecting their family, their loved ones. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And once you start seeing things, that's just like the prosecutor aspect that you was just building about. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Going to see it from that perspective. You know what I mean? Because they got a job to do, and everybody think they right until you show them another view. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got a view of who they think that you are until they get to know the true you. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So, always, know what I'm saying, look at things from every point of view, man, and connect with those people that has been what you been going through, what you've been through. You know what I'm saying? And just know that everything is connected, man, and that we all here to build. And I'm grateful. You know what I'm saying? I'm beyond grateful. You know what I'm saying? That you receive your freedom and that you home now. And like, this, like I said, is a full circle moment, man. And anything last words that you want to say to the people? You know what I'm saying about anything?
Yeah, man, I just want to say, like, touching on the kids, y'all out there, like, really and truly, you got peer pressure is real. Peer pressure is real. Like, yes. Just know that you got to be an independent thinker. You young kings and queens and pharaohs, you have to be independent thinking. Yes. So that you can determine your own path. Absolutely. If not, somebody's going to determine it for you. And if they don't reflect your best interests, you're going to end up in a bad situation or worse, right? Absolutely. So, sometimes everything happens for a reason or reasons, and you want to do the right thing, and you see the wrong being done. You just gotta be noble. Like, hold up, why am I always getting the short end of the stick, right? And everybody else might be doing something different, and you the butt of the jokes, or you feel that they challenging you, and stand firm and do the things that you want to do, because you only got one life. That's right. You only got one life, and if you lose that last breath, you ain't coming back physically. Absolutely. So, you go to prison, look, 33 years, you know what I'm saying, rounded off, that my life was taken. Yes. So it can happen in any kind of ways, and you don't want to regret. You don't want to live with regret. Yes. A lot of people live with regret. So before it comes down to that, you want to do what you can do, man, and just take hold of your life. Yes. And speak to somebody. Don't have no fear speaking to somebody. And you have people that's winning in front of you. You sitting there and you see this person over there winning, and you want to know how to win, ask the person who's winning how to do it. Right. I'm saying, listen, you doing the right thing. I commend you. Right. Learn from you. Can you give me some direction? Absolutely. As opposed to hating on this person. Right. You be like, then he over there, he think he all that, this and that. Bro, reach out to them. How did you go about doing that? Right. Network. Exactly. Where you get that from? Your network. Bro, if you don't mind, can I get your say it again?
Your network is your net worth.
Precisely, Yes. Can I get your information, bro? If you don't mind, what you got going? Are you over here doing this? Right. You over there, bro, that's all I always wanted to do that. I didn't know how to get involved. That's what you're trying to do? If you're serious about it, I can mentor you. Yeah, please do it. Right. Next thing you know, you off to the races and you winning. Absolutely. You winning, you listen, that always say the rose that grew from concrete, like Pat said. You know what I'm saying? It can grow out, it can grow. You know what I'm saying? You just water it. Yes. Right? Water it, man, and you know what I'm saying? Win. You always win no matter what. Right. You know what I'm saying? On that note, freedom is a must. You know what I'm saying? Love is contraband in hell. Love is contraband in hell still. And my little sister May, that's my heart, bro. Yes. She is on my body about everything, but she know I love her, and she keeps. Shout out to May. Yes. God, you know what I'm saying? Mama love everybody, man. Yes. Chance everybody, man. Just love, man. Everybody, man. Val. Everybody, man. Just I appreciate y'all. I appreciate everybody that's believing in me right now. Yes. And put me in position to win. Yes. Trace everybody, y'all just appreciate y'all. Absolutely.
Like I said, this is a
John
motivation.
Ramsey, I see you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Bush,
Ramsey,
everybody,
shout
man,
out.
bro.
Yes.
Yeah, man. People that's doing the
Salute.
work, bro.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
bro.
doing the work.
That's doing the work. Word.
Yeah, this a motivation money making Monday like none other. Know what I'm saying?
Steve Simon.
Yes, man.
Natalie.
Salute.
Oh,
And like I said, man, freedom is a must.
Jennifer
Love is
Wayne.
contraband in hell. Let's keep this movement moving.
Yes.
And we out on that note, man. We got work to do. I see y'all in the field.